Let me tell you, if you'd asked me a year ago what kind of hell you could unleash with a clipboard and a couple forged signatures, I'd have laughed in your face. But looking back now, after everything that went down on that little strip of beach, all I can say is, yeah, it really happened. I lived it. And if you're ever thinking HOAs are just bored retirees fussing over lawn heights, you've never seen a full-scale land grab play out in real time, with break-ins, surveillance cameras, and a suburban chess match where the only thing more dangerous than the lies is believing nobody's watching. So here's the story. Picture a weathered old cottage, driftwood gray, sand creeping under the porch, the kind of place you buy not for the square footage, but for the sound of the waves at night and the way the sea air keeps everything honest. I'd only been living there about 8 months, just long enough to know which boards creaked and which windows stuck after a rainstorm, when the trouble started. It was a Saturday morning, just a touch of cool breeze off the ocean, coffee still warm in my hand, and I was fixing up the deck trim, thinking about nothing except how good it felt to finally get some peace. Then there it was, the knock. Too polite, too rehearsed, the kind of knock that says, I'm here to change something. I opened the door and saw her, power stance, every hair sprayed in place, lips curled up in a smile that made you want to check your wallet, Karen Bates. New HOA president, clipboard flashing, voice like someone reading instructions on how to disarm a bomb. She wasted no time. Mr. Mason, we're hosting a regional HOA summit next weekend, and your property's location is ideal, she said, handing me a glossy folder, event schedules, zoning maps, a list of guests, all the trappings of community togetherness. I just stared. My place wasn't even in their HOA, and that wasn't by accident. No covenants, no dues, just me and the ocean. She smiled wider, pitching it like a favor. Just let the HOA use my cottage for a weekend, clean up before and after, all professional. It'd be a gesture of goodwill, she said, her eyes sharpening just a bit, like I was the only obstacle between her and a perfect score. You want the keys to my house? Sorry, it's not for rent. This is my home, I told her, leaning in the doorway, waiting for her to blink. And for a split second, she did. Her smile flickered, just a muscle twitch, before she turned back to honey and sunshine. We're just trying to foster harmony. I'd hate for one holdout to throw off the whole initiative. There it was, the threat in a sweater set. I shut the door, polite, but with finality. That should have been it. Except, next morning, there were footprints, one set, not mine, curving up from the shore to my back door. No damage, no break-in, just a message. That was all I needed. I hung a cheap trail cam under the patio light, motion-triggered, infrared, the kind I'd used working insurance investigations back in the day. Maybe I was paranoid, but my gut said Karen Bates didn't lose easy. Monday brought a letter, no return address, just my name and a flyer thanking confirmed participating properties for supporting the upcoming summit. My name, my address, in bold. I never agreed to any of this. No one picked up when I called the number. That evening, 2 sets of footprints in the sand. One circled the house, one paused by the back door, then vanished near the dunes. I didn't sleep much that night. By Wednesday, the trail cam caught them. Night vision grainy but clear as day. First a guy, HOA jacket, fumbling at my lock with something that looked like a bump key. Then her, Karen, head on a swivel, hair pulled tight, looking right at the camera before they both melted into the mist. I didn't call the cops. Not yet. Let them think I was clueless. The next day, I upgraded, new deadbolt, tamper sensor hooked to a siren, more cameras, one in the hallway light, one in the bookshelf. I knew where people never looked. That evening brought a hand-delivered envelope, official HOA letterhead, overflow guest housing notice for my cottage, signed by me. Except it wasn't. They'd forged my signature, sloppily traced from an old insurance doc. I wasn't even mad. I was curious. I scanned the letter, pulled metadata, dusted for prints, the whole 9 yards. Called a buddy in the DA's office for a hypothetical. Forgery, fraud, trespass, maybe more, even if they hadn't gotten in yet. Everything okay? He asked. Just curious, I lied. Thursday night, I stayed up late, waiting. Nothing. Then, 1:56 a.m., the siren howled. I jumped up, killed the alarm, checked the feed. There they were. Same guy, same jacket, inside my hallway. Karen clutching the forged letter like it was the Declaration of Independence. She turned right to my bookshelf cam, face caught in perfect clarity. They bolted when the siren hit, like raccoons caught in the trash. I just sat down, backed up the footage, grabbed a legal pad. Game on. Next morning, 2 squad cars showed up. Not for the break-in. For me. Karen was out front, neck brace, fake bruises, clipboard at the ready, spinning a story about illegal security traps and humiliation. The officer asked if I had any evidence contradicting her account. I just said, "Come inside." Played them the footage, every entry, every attempt, every forged doc. By the end, Karen's face was stiffer than that neck brace. They took her out for questioning, Joel too. 1 down. By noon, I was at my lawyer's, Carol Brandt. She flipped through the file like a chef about to tear into a 5-star meal. "This isn't trespass. This is organized criminal fraud," she said, grinning. By day's end, she'd filed a cease and desist, a criminal complaint, and sent everything to the DA. Meanwhile, I did some forensics. That forged signature? They'd lifted it from an old Dropbox form. And guess who had access? Karen. Chain of custody, intent, checkmate. But Karen wasn't done. I got a call from a buddy at the county recorder's office. Zoning correction request on my parcel, HOA flag. They wanted to redraw my southern boundary, annex my only direct beach access. If I didn't contest it in 30 days, they'd win by default. I grabbed Carol. We filed a motion to freeze the change, audited every amendment Karen had touched. Turns out, 3 other homeowners had already been burned the same way. A widow named Susan, a retired guy with fake HOA fees, even an absentee owner whose deed got snatched while he was out of state. Suddenly, I wasn't fighting for my cottage. This was a whole operation, and Karen was at the top, empire building one signature at a time. I talked to Susan, who showed me a pile of HOA warnings and a half-dead garden trampled by compliance landscapers. She'd never signed anything. They forged her too. I documented everything, handed it to Carol. Then I found the binder, hidden behind books in my own house, laminated HOA plans, floor maps, property transition memos, and even a target rental income chart for my cottage. My name nowhere, just a line reading Section 7A, transfer to HOA oversight. An internal memo named an investor, Henry Lehman, a guy known for turning private homes into short-term rental cash cows. Carol called him. He admitted he was told my place was transitioning. We dropped the evidence on him, and he bailed instantly. After that, Karen tried propaganda, flyers up and down the street, fake photos with my house and the HOA logo slapped on, buzzwords like regional integrity. But I'd already filed an emergency injunction, blocking flyers, media, zoning moves. Meanwhile, I talked to more neighbors. Marcus, retired electrician, showed me a fake notary stamp on his community inclusion form. The notary had died in 2019. Joel, the HOA enforcer, tried swapping my not-for-rent sign for a guest access placard. Caught on camera. Carol sent the reel to the news, and the story blew up. Homeowner battles rogue HOA. It went statewide. After the TV spot, the dam burst. Residents started questioning Karen, board members turned on her, and a mysterious envelope landed in my mailbox. Screenshots of Karen's own DMs. "He's just a retired lab rat. No one will believe him." I sent them to the DA. A couple nights later, unmarked cars staked out her house. The war had gone public. Karen doubled down, sending a compliance task force to my door, fake signatures in hand, real suits, phony jurisdiction. I filmed everything, handed it to Carol, and she filed for federal wire fraud. The next day, the story made national news, a HOA coup attempt. Karen called the cops on me, claimed I was a threat. 3 patrol cars showed up, guns drawn. I walked out with my hands up, showed the restraining order, the footage, the deed. They stood down. The next night, police rolled up to Karen's house. No arrest yet, but everyone knew it was coming. The judge granted a full injunction. The HOA was barred from even mentioning my name. Then Carol and I dug into their records, found a likely targets list. Elderly, absentee, unprotected titles. 9 names. Years in the making. Court day came. Karen looked smug, until Carol played the hidden camera tape, showed the forged docs, GPS boundary scams, fake notaries, everything. Joel testified, admitted he got a script, said I was unstable, a total lie. Forensics proved the signature lifts. Marcus brought the notary scam. Jury didn't take long. Karen, guilty on all counts. Forgery, trespass, attempted theft, conspiracy, false police report. 10 years, no parole for 5. Joel got 2.5. The HOA got audited, fined, and forced to apologize in the papers. Me? I bought the lot next door, ringed it with lights, new cameras, and a black slate plaque on my door. No trespassing. Not a member, not for rent. If you're from the HOA, walk away. You've tried before. The local paper called me the man who beat the HOA mafia. But all I wanted was silence. And finally, for the first time in months, I got it. Now, you tell me, was I right to fight? Where's the line between order and overreach? What would you have done? Drop your thoughts below. Let's hear your take on justice, community, and standing up when the odds are stacked. And if you've got your own HOA story, don't be shy. This war might be over, but the battle's bigger than me.